All right, friends, welcome back to our online Bible study in the Gospel of John. This week, we're going to be in one story all week, short story about Jesus walking on the water. I'm setting this up for you today from my house. I didn't plan it this way, but it's fitting because the picture behind me reminds me of the Sea of Galilee. It's not what it is. I don't know who put it together, what inspired that person. But for me, I like it because it reminds me of the Sea of Galilee. And that is where this takes place. So when I see that picture, I picture the Sea of Galilee. Whether you have been there or not, what I'm going to encourage you to do today is to kind of settle in to this story this week. I'm going to read it and just kind of imagine it. Just kind of picture this happening. If you have ever been out on any body of water, okay, doesn't have to be the Sea of Galilee, any body of water, you can imagine this happening. So we dug into this passage a little bit more yesterday in Cornerstone. We're going to be talking more about it in detail this week. Today, we're not going to be talking about any of the details of it. I just want to settle into it. So just kind of imagine yourself out on a body of water as I read this. When evening came, the disciples went down to the sea, got into a boat, and started across the sea to Capernaum. It was now dark, and Jesus had not come to them. The sea became rough because of a strong wind that was blowing. When they had rowed about 3 or 4 miles, they saw Jesus walking on the sea and coming near the boat. And they were frightened. And he said to them, "It is I. Do not be afraid." And they were glad to take him into the boat. And immediately the boat was at the land to which they were going. There's a lot there that you may have questions about. There's a lot there that you may not have questions about that we're going to show you this week that you may not even see, but that it's really cool, like really deep stuff. Before we get into any of that, just right here on the surface level, as you were settling into this story, picturing yourself there, what did you walk away thinking, feeling, sensing? And whatever that is for you, I hope that you'll spend a little bit of time kind of thinking through it, maybe living it a little bit more. But I know for me, one of those things is that when I take this story just right at its surface level, it just reminds me that a lot of what we believe is unbelievable. And it reminds me that it's not just unbelievable for me, but that what these men experienced was unbelievable for them. It wasn't any easier for them to believe that Jesus was walking on the water than it is for me to believe that he did walk on the water. And yet there he was. It's a reminder that sometimes the unbelievable becomes undeniable. There is. And a minute ago, I didn't believe that was possible, but now I guess I have to believe that it is. I don't know how that looks like for you. For me, some of the words of the scripture, I trust them. I mean, I believe they were written by or in correspondence with people who saw this, who went to their graves saying that this was true. And I believe it because I've had unbelievable things happen in my life. Things that I didn't think were possible. And then they became possible. Sometimes the unbelievable becomes undeniable. And I'm just reminded this morning that a lot of what we believe is hard to believe. But we choose to believe it because something has happened in our lives, or because we trust the scripture and we recognize that some things that seem unbelievable are also undeniable. We are rooted in a faith that is unbelievable. It is unbelievable in the goodness of the good news. It's unbelievable that God would come to save us. And yet we believe it. So maybe that's a good place for us to kind of leave as we step into this story this week, is with an encouragement to just spend a little bit of time reflecting on that. What does it mean that we put our faith in something that is hard to believe, but yet also, once we begin to really live into it, it's also hard to deny. So we spend a little bit of time reflecting on that and just giving God thanks that he is a God who does unbelievable things. So God bless you, friends. Keep with the reading, reflect on this some more, and we'll see somebody will see you tomorrow, and I'll see you later this week. God bless you, friends.